What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're back on another top 5 list, and this time we're looking at cornerbacks. Let's get into it. So this list really isn't in that much of a specific order like the last one was. I'm kind of just like putting my top 5 in here. I think these ones would fit the lines pretty well for a few reasons, but I also think they're 5 of the really good cornerbacks that are available. Hold up, y'all. Let me just hop in here real quick and let you guys know a little disclaimer. I don't want to trade Slay. Okay, my personal opinion, I don't want to trade Slay. I would like to keep Slay around for his final year. I just think it makes most sense. I actually have videos on it, so if you guys want to check them out, go look them up. But I just want to throw that in there. That way you guys understand where I'm coming from when I'm talking about Slay. I don't want to trade Slay, so there you go. Like I said, they're not in really any kind of specific order, but they are top 5, and I like doing my top 5. So, we're just going to mix it up a little bit here. Now, if you guys want to see other lists like this, or maybe even if I stick to the cornerback thing, I could look at sleeper cornerbacks, slot cornerbacks, outside cornerbacks. We could go more specific. You guys let me know, and let me know what kind of list you guys want to see next. So, here we go. We're going to start this thing off with an honorable mention. Actually, no. Last time we did it at before number 1, so we're going to do that. Let's coming in at number 5 is Eli Apple. Now, I don't think Eli Apple is the best cornerback that is out there, and that's kind of why I try to keep somewhat making sense in the top 5 list at the same time. It was kind of a little mixy. I don't think Eli Apple is that great of a cornerback, but I do like some of the things that he comes with. Well, one, he's 25 years old, the youngest cornerback on this list. That, to me, looks like a really good option for the Detroit Lions. A young cornerback that can grow into a talented quarterback and possibly be with the Lions. He can play a lot of man coverage, which is really good. He's with New Orleans right now. He was with the Giants, I believe, when he came out of the draft. Again, young cornerback, 58 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and he was getting $3.7 million. So I think he's going to get a little bit more now because, he's coming out of that. He's coming into where he's probably going with that nice little paycheck. But I still don't think he's earned a lot of money. So I don't think we'd have to, overspend. And possibly Eli Apple is a guy that you keep around for 3-4 years. He's still young, and by the time he's done with that big contract, he's still a pretty young cornerback. He's only like 29, 30 years old. So that would make sense for me. I think this is a guy that could actually work for the future. Maybe not ever be our number 1, but maybe be a number 2 or something along those lines. Eli Apple comes in number 5. Now let's hop into number 4 where I have Trey Waynes from Minnesota. So this is the Vikings cornerback. Now I feel like Trey Waynes plays a lot more slot than maybe other cornerbacks on this list, but he can play the outside. Now, Trey Waynes, again, not an old cornerback. He is 28 years old, I believe. That might be a little bit wrong. Hold up. Actually, let me check on that because I feel like now that I'm reading that out loud, I feel like I wrote that down wrong. So y'all are seeing exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. My man is 27 years old. Okay. I wrote that wrong. See, I knew I wrote something wrong there. I was like, that doesn't seem right. Okay, he's 27. Trey Waynes is 27 years old, and again, not a super old cornerback, was with Minnesota, so maybe he gives us a little bit of intel, you know what I'm saying? Last season, played in 14 games. He had 58 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception with about $3.2 million. All of these guys are unrestricted free agents for 2020, so keep that in mind. I don't think Trey Waynes is coming back to Minnesota next season. They talked about, maybe this is it for Trey Waynes in Minnesota. Maybe this is the last time we'll see him there, and I think it is. And I think that's the reason for us. Maybe they'll go pull him over here. He's not super old. He can help out a little bit. And really, the reason I'm doing this list is because I don't know what the cornerback future looks like. No idea if we're bringing Rashawn back. No idea what's going to go on with Darius Slay. So I think it is important to look at some cornerbacks. And I think these are 2 options in Eli Apple and Trey Waynes that aren't crazy, breaking bank type of players that are just going to take all of your money, okay? These are guys that you could pull in and not have to spend too much, right? So that's why I put them bottom lower of the list, okay? Maybe not the best corners, but you don't have to break bank for them. Now, let's get into the top 3. Coming in number 3 is a guy that I've looked at for a long time, and Darqueze Dennard. Now, Darqueze Dennard, how do you say it? I've looked at this dude for a long time. I've looked at him to be a potential Lion a long time, and now, again, he's going to have a potential to be a Detroit Lion. He's 28 years old. He did only play in 9 games, so keep that in mind, but he's 28 years old, 37 tackles, 2 quarterback hits. The numbers aren't crazy. $4.5 million, unrestricted free agent. I like Dennard's play. He can play on the outside, and I think he'd be nice across a guy like Darius Slay. That's assuming Darius Slay is here next year, and even if he's not, I think he can play pretty well on the outside. Not super old like the other guys. 28 years old, that's not super old, so it's not bad, and I think he's a pretty solid cornerback. I think he's on the field play, but, only playing 9 games. It may be something to be a little bit concerned about. But again, $4.5 million, I don't think he's going to get paid tons of money. He's already 28 years old, so by the time you're paying him again, he's going to be getting into contracts into his 30s most likely, unless it's like a 1-year deal. So I don't think he's going to get tons of money. And once again, this guy is not going to break your wallet trying to bring in Dennard. So I think he could be a solid fit. He plays for Cincinnati, so unfortunately, it's a terrible team. Now, I'm not saying we're much better, right? We have the 3rd pick, but maybe he'll be a little bit happy at least if we win a few games. I don't know. Dennard comes in number 3. Now, let's get into number 2. And this guy, this is where we start talking about a potential player that could break your bank, and that is Logan Ryan, okay? Now, I don't think he will. He is 29 years old, but Logan Ryan, I think it's very, very fair to say this is the best cornerback I have on this list. Out of Tennessee, 29 years old, 113 tackles. He has 5 sacks. Yes, that's more than our whole defensive line. No, I'm kidding. That's not a true statement. Don't take that truthfully. That was a joke. Calm down. 4 forced fumbles and 4 interceptions. Yeah, that's a really good cornerback. Now, he was on a $10 million contract. Look, this dude is going to get money, okay? If you're going to bring him in, you're going to have to pay him. Now, is he going to get $50 million? Probably not. Probably not because of his age. Just going to keep away from that. But you're still going to have to pay him. So if you pay him, you're going to pay around that much because of the production level. So if he does become a free agent and he is an option, he's probably the best option if you want a guy that can be completely impactful, right? Especially if you lose a guy like Slay. They're very similar in age. You lose Slay. Now, what do you do? Maybe you go get Logan Ryan. I don't know. Maybe this is your option. He's going to cost some money, probably more than anybody else on this list because of how well he performed in his production. But at the same time, he's not super old, and I think he could be a solid fit. Maybe like a complete Darius Slay replacement. Or even if you keep Slay, maybe you throw him across from Slay, and that would be pretty clean. He comes in number 2. Now let's hop in to that honorable mention, okay? Let's not skip out on that honorable mention. At the honorable mention position, I have Rashaan Melvin. Now he's an honorable mention. He didn't come on the list because he is a Lion last season, and he's going to be a free agent. So simply, we give him another contract, okay? That's why he's an honorable mention. I didn't think he was terrible, and I think he would be fine if we get more pressure. But at the same time, he was a Lion, so I didn't want to throw him on the list because I felt like that would kind of take away from the list, right? Like, come on, man. You can't throw the same players on there. So he's an honorable mention. Now, let's get to number 1. This one was kind of easy for me. Actually, now I think about it, this is probably the best cornerback on the list, and that is Nevin Lawson. So Nevin Lawson was with the Lions, absolutely dominant. No, I'm kidding. Y'all are really thinking for a second. I had you guys thinking, no, it's Chris Harris. Now, this is not the best cornerback on the list. That was a joke. This is not a joke. Not the best cornerback on this list. I don't think he's better than Logan Ryan whatsoever. And he's also older. He's 31 years old. But this is the guy the Lions apparently targeted when the trade deadline, and they had trade talks with him, but Bob Quinn said they weren't very serious. But who knows? I mean, Chris Harris is the guy that I think they'll definitely target this offseason, okay? He's 31 years old. I think he'll come in on a very short contract, 1 or 2 years, something along those lines. He had 56 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. Was $12 million. Don't think he'll get that much with his age. Doesn't have the same kind of production, but he is a placeholder, and with the Lions being in the position they are in to win now, this is the kind of guy you look at, right? A guy that can give you production. He's not going to be here for long term. You just need to find a guy to fill in, especially if you lose out on Slay, if you trade him away, especially if you lose out on Rashaan Melvin. A guy like Chris Harris could fit in pretty well. He's a veteran. He knows how to play the game, and he comes in at number 1. So let me hear your thoughts, comments below. Again, these aren't in the order by talent necessarily because Logan Ryan is the best cornerback on this list, but I thought it was pretty fun to do. If you guys want to see any other kind of list, let me know in the comments, and if I missed anybody that you would have put on here, let me know. Now, again, I didn't put every cornerback on here. I didn't put all 50 cornerbacks on here and rank them. No, I can do that. Potentially it'd be a long video, but if there's someone that's like, oh, what about this guy? Yeah, sure. I mean, put him in the comments. I'll look at it, and I'll probably respond to you too. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.